Hey guys, it's another video. So today I'm with Gents Josh and the main man himself, Lee Judges. Say hello, lads.
All right.
How are we doing? All right, guys.
So Lee, tell us about yourself.
What do you want to know? What do you want to know?
Tell us about Arsenal Fan TV, actually. If you can.
Oh, I've been AFTV, as you well probably know, it's gone massive over the last sort of I would say gone completely like mad over the last 2 years. Yeah. It was big, but the last 2 years it's just gone unbelievably mad. And I think really like ever since the watch-alongs and everything like that, it's just changed it a lot more. Like, you know, and listen, it's not all champagne and roses, as you well know. Like, there's a little bit of hate for it as well, like, you know, which I get at times. I do get, but I think over the last sort of couple of years, particularly the last year, I think there's been a constant change of how it is. Different people coming on, a bit more, I would say, positive stuff being implemented, and that, and which I think it needed to do. I think it was going down a pretty dangerous road, in my opinion. But now I think it's definitely on a better path. But obviously, like with that, there becomes a lot of different things into it now, guys. You know what I mean? Like, and I get that. I speak to people, I speak to fans when they say, "Look, why is it so and so gets on Sky and normal people not getting on Sky and things like that?" And or on radio and whatever. And that's just the nature of the beast, you know what I mean? Like, it's not AFTV's fault that these guys, that the TV companies are picking up on the ones that, you know, they're going to make them more views themselves, you know what I mean? So it's a business, you know. So and listen, you know, how can I put it? Like, the glamorous girls of the fan cam world are all getting on Sky and doing their things now. And good luck to them. That's how it is. You know what I mean? It's the way it is, and you know, there's a lot of jealousy and how can I say it without, you know, being horrible and all that? Like, you know, wishing it was them and not wishing it was them. Well, wishing it was them instead of us, sort of thing. Like, you know, I don't really know, you know. So it's a difficult one on that side of things. And listen, guys, you know, if you're earning money and getting paid to do what you do now, you know, of course it's going to bring in a lot of jealousy. I get that, I really do.
Yeah. No, but I've been watching Arsenal Fan TV for ages, and I feel like, of course, you're going to get hate at some points, but for what you've done, I feel like it's great. Do you think that, Josh?
Yeah, I've been watching AFTV for years as well. Obviously, I'm an Arsenal fan, and I love it, to be fair. Like, I'll watch it after every match day. And so, Lee, how did you like get into AFTV then? So, like,
I just I've just done an interview which every person can do. There's not stopping anybody going on there. Like, you know, I don't know if you've ever seen it before. It's mad to get close to it nowadays. Like, you know what I mean? And I just done one interview. It went viral, and from then on, I was just asked to do some certain things and all that. And listen, whether you like it or whether you don't, it comes down to popularity. Whether that, you know, if you're getting views, you know, that will mean that they want you on more, if you know what I mean, like, you know. So and one of the things that I've always said to people, don't ever go on there trying to get something out of it, you know what I mean? Just go on there for what you know, and what
be yourself.
Be yourself, exactly. What will be, you know. And I think people somewhere down the line probably thought, well, I've got to be like this, or I've got to shout and scream, I've got to be like this and that. I've always maintained, just be yourself, and what will be, you know. For me, I wasn't really doing, you know, I was doing okay on it. I wasn't like doing nothing where I could say that I could earn any real money out of it or anything like that, until the watch-alongs come. Once the watch-alongs come, it just transformed it for me, you know what I mean? Like, beyond belief. So, but I've always said, you know, always maintained just to be myself, and go from that. And as I say, anybody can go on it. I get why people don't want to go on it, and I get why people do want to go on it, because there are benefits. Listen, for me, it's been magnificent. It's changed my life. It's been beneficial for me, where I now can say that I do. I can make a living out of it. But also one of the greatest things for me is ex-players, players that I've followed, know me and I know them, and can have a chat with them and things like that. That's special. Do you know what I mean? Like that's the greatest gift for me. You can, players now can, like the other day I was, talking to Paul Merson, and you see him on the telly every day and whatever, and he's going, "Oh, like, nice to see you, Lee. See you soon."
Yeah,
and you just, is that really happens? You know what I mean? Like,
because I saw you're close to Kev Campbell, aren't you? Because I'm a big Albion fan.
Yeah.
So I know him.
Yeah.
How's Kev Campbell?
That Kev's super, like, super Kevin Campbell, like, that's been unbelievable. Like, we've been friends for quite a while now, and that just happened through social media, and how that story went was, I got a message from Kevin. He was working on TV down at the Emirates. He said, "Oh, do you want to meet up afterwards?" And we met up afterwards. So that was, surreal, really. Like, we just went down the pub with where all my mates were and all that, and then we've just sort of gone on to do become mates, go to games and everything. He lives up in Manchester, so we'll go up there. So much so that he's part of, my channel now. I've started up. He's got his own segment on there, which he asked that he wanted to be involved with. Yeah. And the only regret I've ever about it, like, look, it's fantastic when you go to Everton games with Kevin. It's like, it's off a different world. They absolutely love him down there.
They do that.
Should I say? But I would have loved to have known and had the friendship I had with Kevin when he was playing for the Arsenal. Do you know what I mean?
Imagine that, yeah.
Everyone would love that.
We've got a great friendship, and we've become really, really close friends. You know what I mean? So, and I'll tell you the sort of guy he is. It's my birthday. I think last year it was. He was in London. He was the other side of London. I was like in St Paul's. Was going out of a meal with my girlfriend and a couple of mates, friends, and he made the effort and come over from South London just to have a beer and things like that. Do you know what I mean? So it's a great friendship, and it really started from we've spoke about it. Would we have ever be friends if it was for AFTV? Who knows? You know what I mean? Kevin says that we would have probably met somewhere along the line, but who knows? You know what I mean? So we've got a tremendous friendship, and it's honoured to be like mates with him, really. Yeah.
What's it like behind the scenes at Arsenal Fan TV? Is it like kind of hectic, or is it actually really good?
Yeah, like, I'll tell you what, there's a few of them on there. I'm not going to mention no names, but their timekeeping, a bit like mine today, is shocking. They're,
like, in the flight.
You go to a shoot, or like when you got to go to the studio, and it's 11 o'clock. Filming starts at 11. You know what I mean? 12 o'clock, you're still sitting around. You know what I mean? So you can never plan the day. So but no, it's good. It's good vibes when you go for the watch-alongs before the game. There's good vibes with the crew. Listen, when I first started doing AFTV, there was none of that. You know what I mean? Now you go there, you've got a production team, which is like 5, 6, 7, 8 people on production, and then you've got like camera people. You've got the people that are actually like the influencers that are there, like, and it's mad. So you go into like the sort of green room before it all starts, and you're all having a laugh and a joke. It's just like being at work, really. It's just and everybody gets on with everybody. There's a very, very good vibe and an atmosphere in and around it, and it, it's great to see those sort of side of things. I've done the same with the BBC a few months back now. You go and behind the scenes of what it's like at the BBC and doing a shoot for them. Different world, a world that I would never have ever thought I could ever be involved in, So, so everything's new, you know what I mean? Like they're saying, "Oh, we've got to go and do the outside scenes," and I'm thinking, well, yeah, pretending I knew what I was talking about, you know what I mean? And surreal sort of stuff, really, like, you know. So, and then at the end of it, they say, "Oh, we're paying you for it." No, thank you very much.
Bonus,
you know
isn't it? Yeah.
It is unbelievable, really, like, you know.
Have you got a favourite behind the scenes? Would you say?
Oh, what?
Favourite person behind the scenes? Like, who's one of your best mates?
Everybody asks me that at the moment. Like, do you know what I mean? Who else? Like, do you know what? I'm very, very close to all of them. If I'll be honest, I've got a really, really good relationship with Cecil and James, that have come on there.
Yeah.
Turkish, obviously, I'm very, very close to for the years. But you know, obviously, Ty, I get on really well with.
What's Ty like behind the scenes?
Would I go out and drink with him? No, but like he's a great, great guy. Do you know what I mean? But and also the girls, I get on really well, like with Pippa and Charlene and Helen really well. So you know, Robert, I get on with all of them really. It'd be very, very harsh to turn around and say I have got a favourite, but it's very harsh for me to say who it is.
Josh, next question.
So then, Lee, I saw you were watching the game the other day with Saka's family. That must be kind of surreal. Yeah,
I'm lucky where I sit. Like, they were like for the last couple of years before lockdown and all that. It used to be like Granit Xhaka's family like sat there like that. But I think with his new contract, I think he's got a box now. So So I was sitting there and I didn't know. A couple of weeks ago now, and like the game finished and they was waving, and I said, "Oh, like, do you know, like, Bakayo?" Then so she said, "That's my brother." So, hello, nice to meet you, and all that, like, you know. Yeah. So, you know, and his mum and dad come and watch as well, so they've got 3 seats next to me, like, you know. So it's pretty surreal, like, you know. The only trouble is with if he misses a chance, I've just got to shout out, "Oh, unlucky now," like, you know.
Yeah. Don't give reviews, I guess.
Instead of going mad, like, he's done it again, like, you know what I mean? So I can't say that, like, you know. So,
I do get you. Sticking with Arsenal, what's your favourite memory, would you say?
Oh, well, so I think favourite memory's got to be 89 when we won the league with the last kick of the game, virtually the last kick of the game. You know, I'm going to that thing on Friday, like where they're doing some show in London. So, yeah, I think that would have to be special time, if I'll be honest. But so many great memories with Arsenal. But I think that would have to be the ultimate one, if I'll be honest. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I know it's an easy question for you. Who's your favourite ever player?
Favourite ever player, Charlie Nicholas. I probably, like, none of you would have probably heard of him, or well, we might have done through Soccer Saturday, things like that. Yeah. So he would be my all-time favourite player, and again, through all of this sort of stuff, managed to meet him a couple of weeks ago, and you know when they say, "I'll never meet your heroes," you know, you might be disappointed. Well, I can safely say that I wasn't disappointed, and do you know what? Kevin's always wound me up about that one, because obviously, like, Kevin was an apprentice when Charlie was at the football club, and he cleaned his boots, and for so I've met Charlie, I've done this and I've done that, you know, and he did say to me, Kevin said, "One day it'll happen, you'll definitely meet him," and the great thing is now is he knows who I am, so that was unbelievable. So very, very surreal. So yeah, Charlie Nicholas without a doubt. Not the best player that's ever played for Arsenal, but my favourite. And I'm pretty sure Arsenal fans my age, there's a lot of Charlie Nicholas fans. Women as well.
You've also been to loads of games, haven't you? What's your favourite ever away day?
Favourite ever away day. Listen, when you beat Spurs at White Hart Lane, you can't beat it. Like, you know what I mean? It is one hell of a place to get into, and not the nicest game to go to, you know. Put it this way, you wouldn't take a girl on a first date to Arsenal Spurs away.
But you
know, you'd give it a miss. But once you're in the ground, or that old White Hart Lane, because obviously I've never been to the new one yet, but the old White Hart Lane, there was nothing like that atmosphere. To be honest, when you won, it was fantastic. When you lost, it wasn't great. But
you say it's very hostile then?
Oh yeah, very very hostile, very very hostile.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's getting in and out of the ground is not a pleasure. I'll be honest, but once you're in the ground, the atmosphere, it was Spurs fans. You can tell that they're up for it more than a normal game. Because it's Arsenal Spurs. It's as simple as that. And the place, when Tottenham scored, I remember when when we drew them 2-2 a few years ago, and Sanchez scored in the last couple of minutes, and Coquelin.
All right, yeah.
Harry Kane scored a goal to make it 2-1, and
Yeah.
even though. Well, I thought that we was going to lose that game because we was down to 10 men. I think about 10 minutes to go, if I was saying like that. The place, just three sides of the ground were just going mad. And you just had to look around it and it was like shaking. And you thought, wow. And then Arsenal scored with Sanchez and like our little section went absolutely mad as well. And it was an unbelievable experience. So I would have to say Tottenham away would have to be it like. And I've had some fantastic times there, if I'll be honest, but obviously like a few bad ones as well.
Never been to the new one, though, haven't you? Because it's
no, since lockdown and all that, like it's not happened. I think the first time we were meant to go there is in January. So I look forward to going there because everybody says it's a wonderful stadium and everything.
Yeah.
Game changer now. With Conte going there, like
isn't it? Yeah.
We're making a lot of it tough again now.
Different ball.
What do you think will happen with Conte and Spurs?
Well, listen. For me, I'm a big Conte. Well, I'll say that now. Was a big Conte fan. Can't stand the bloke now. Like you know what I mean. But I always thought that maybe one day Arsenal might get him, because that's the sort of manager that we want, Listen, Spurs have pulled off a good deal as far as I'm concerned. I know people are saying, he's going to foul and whatever, I think that's more wishful thinking than anything at this moment in time. His track record says that he's not. I do think also he's got a little bit more class than, say, a Mourinho, and I ain't ashamed to admit it that I would have liked Conte at Arsenal. So, we'll see what happens. But, obviously now I hope that he's succeeded everywhere he's gone. So hopefully, it won't happen at Tottenham, But then, Mourinho had won a trophy at every club, hadn't he? So he didn't at Tottenham. So, let's hope that that can happen again. It is a game changer. I think it's a game changer. I think Spurs were definitely struggling. Listen, Nuno had no chance, did he? No, he didn't work. But at this moment in time, they're only a couple of points off of us, and I think now, if I'll be honest, they're going to beat Everton now because of this appointment, and puts them back in the hunt for wherever they want to get to the top four. I think the top four is not out of the question for anybody at this moment in time. I think if I was a betting man, I wouldn't say it would be Arsenal and Spurs, but that we've both in with a shout at this moment in time.
Yeah, so it's played for. Go on, Josh.
They will struggle until January, though, I do feel, because I don't think their squad's quite good enough at the minute.
No, I don't, and I think that what happened in January, I reckon that they'll sell Harry Kane, get the money for him.
Really?
Yeah, he doesn't want to be there, does he? Come on, let's be honest. By his body language and everything there. Try and get as much money for him as he can, and then give the money to Conte to spend. I think that's what they would do. And if anybody can do it, just look at your track record. He is someone that could do that. And I think that, Harry Kane and the situation's been difficult for the manager, him as a player, and and listen, the fans turned on him on Sunday.
Yeah.
He ain't going to forget that, and then so I think that it'd be interesting how it pans out. Very interesting how it pans out.
It will be. Another question from me is, who's ever best opposition player you've watched live?
Whoa. Do you know what? Like, it wasn't actually against me, against Arsenal. Like, you know, we've had the Messis and Chevys against us and all that. Like, you know, I was fortunate enough to get invited to the Champions League final between Juventus and Real Madrid. Cardiff.
Yeah. I remember that game. Yeah.
And Ronaldo was just
incredible,
different planet that day. You know what I mean? The greatest club game in the world, and he just blew me away that day. I went, wow, you know, like that's when he was in his prime.
Yeah,
and I thought, wow.
Think he still got it in him?
Say again?
Think he's still got it in him this season?
Yeah, he did the other day. You know what I mean? He doesn't do it as consistently. I'll be honest. That he was doing things like that all the time. Scored that night, and you know, we just. The reason that Juventus didn't win that was because of him. Not, you know, that's how good he was. So yeah, very, very fortunate to see. I've seen some fantastic players through the time against Arsenal. Do you know what? I've never been, and I don't mean this nastily to Messi or Barcelona. I always had a lot of time for Barcelona. One of the best players I've ever seen was when Arsenal played the Champions League at Wembley, was a player called Rivaldo. Played for Brazil. He was outstanding. That was a fantastic. Luis Enrique, who's now manager of Spain, played. That was a very, very good team. But then when that Barcelona team with Messi, Xavi, Iniesta and all that, they were cheating, always diving and everything. I never quite liked them for it. Like, do you know what I mean? So I was a little bit not against them in a way, and then what they've done with Cesc Fabregas nicking him off of us, really, I've always been a little bit resentful to Barcelona since that. So
a young Jack Wilshere put him in his place, though, didn't he?
Say again?
A young Jack Wilshere put them in his place.
He did that day. He did that. One of the best games at the Emirates ever. That was, and I don't know if you remember, we got cheated out of it in the second leg with the Van Persie thing, which was an absolute joke. So little things like that. I haven't got no sympathy for Barcelona because of that. So I know that weren't their fault that day, but you know we got cheated out of that there. But that was one of the great games. Jack Wilshere was absolutely outstanding that day. What an atmosphere! And that, do you remember, like, Arshavin scored that goal? Oh my!
Yeah, that was great.
The place went mad after that night. You know? So that was great. That was great.
Okay, Josh. Next question.
Let's talk a bit more current squad. You know, what are your opinions on Mikel? Because I know you've been a bit up and down. Maybe I think most of the fan base has, but I think, you know, has he turned a corner recently? Because I've never really been Mikel out, but at the same time, there's been like that Tottenham 2-0. I think it was just before, you know, he looked like he was a dead man walking then.
Yeah. Do you know what? I really want it to work for Mikel. You know what I mean? For selfish reasons, because that means Arsenal will do well. I'm just not sure. Not sure. I just don't know if he's got the experience enough to do it. What I've enjoyed about the last two games, after the Crystal Palace game, I think that he's learned. There was a definite change of thinking. Lacazette coming into the team, more adventurous, more attacking. But sometimes the football's been a bit bland, bit boring. But with that, maybe if I look back at it and I see, like, you know, we've controlled the games a little bit better. We certainly defended. I've always said that through all of this time. The one thing I felt that we were defending a little bit better. But the one thing that, even going back to the Leicester game, because I watched it again the next day, because I, you know, obviously have to do it for work and things like that. But as well as we played, too many times Ramsdale was called into action. So there's still things to work on, still things to do. But I have to say, the signings that they're making, not just him, but the whole sort of scene, the Gabriels, the Ben Whites, Tommy Asu, who I'd never heard of, like, you know what I mean? Like, Tavares has come in and been like, you know, Lokonga. They've made some very, very good signings. So the thing is, you know, we've had a couple of good wins. We're 8 games unbeaten, which is fantastic. But I don't forget what happened last season, you know, with the poor performances. We couldn't win at home, getting stuffed every week, every time we play. But you can see a slight, you know, we are moving up a little bit there. So listen, we've had a couple of good wins, but you know, if we were, say for instance, we lose to Watford, we lose to Liverpool, we're back down in 10th, 12th place. You know what I mean? Spurs will be above us, and everybody will be going, "Oh, what's going on?" So it's very, very precarious what's going on at the moment. But I'm liking what I'm seeing from the players' point of view, where they're engaging with the fans a lot more, which is something that was not happening for a while. So from that point of view, I think where I am with Mikel is that these results have bought him some more time. Let's see where we are come the end. Let's see where we are January, and then I can give you a better answer where I think we're going to be with Mikel.
Got an exciting cup run maybe ahead as well. You know, we got a good draw in Sunderland at home. And we've got FA Cup to play for, and I mean, I think we've got to aim for top four realistically, because you know at the minute there's no guarantee for anyone in that top four.
No, and the advantage that we've got over these teams is that we've got no Europe. All these teams are playing in Europe, so you know, like they're all playing in Europe, travelling around, playing an extra game while we're on having a little bit of a rest, and then also getting on the training field and working on things. You know, so I think we're at a little that gives us a little bit of an advantage. Would just for me, I think a club like Arsenal should have an experience, and that's nothing against Mikel or anything like that. I just think that a club like Arsenal should have an experienced manager that's been around the block and knows what he's doing.
High caliber.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So and you have a look at most teams, most teams are not going to put in someone completely, a novice, if I'll be honest. But it has worked in the past. It's worked with Pep, when he went into Barcelona. So we shall see.
Man U have done it, and look what's happened there.
Yeah, Man U. Well, is he holding them back or is he not? That's a debate, isn't it? So the thing is with us at the moment, we've just got to, I think at times, hope that it does work for Mikel. But listen, you can go with an experienced manager and it doesn't work. So who knows? So I just let's just see where it takes us. That's all.
It is a project at the end of the day, and we can only believe in it because if you look at Tottenham, Tottenham look really desperate. Appointing Mourinho, Conte, and it's not working for them really.
No, of course, and they're going down a different route to us, and let's just hope that our route's a lot better. Listen, we've got some very, very good young players coming through. You can't deny that, and so look, from that point of view, it looks rosy. But can Mikel take us on to where we want to go? We're just going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, I feel like with Spurs and Arsenal, I feel like maybe with Arteta you got a project, but then with Conte, for example, I think it's like an 18-month contract. So all they want to do is get up there, and if he's doing well, keep him. Otherwise, just move on. So no, it will be interesting.
They're in a little bit of a different situation from us. They're about 10 years down where we were. Do you know what I mean? But we was in theory, we was always guaranteed Champions League football to a certain degree, the top four. I don't think anybody can say you guarantee the top four at this moment in time. I wouldn't write Leicester out of that at the moment. Tottenham, definitely West Ham. You know what I mean? Without a shadow of a doubt. So there's some teams in there that are, like Everton, for instance, have been poor, but because they've got players injured at the moment, bring their players back. Who knows what's going to happen there? But look, Rafa Benitez is an experienced manager. It hasn't quite worked the way probably Everton would have thought it was. So there's no guarantees, So we're just going to have to wait and see. Just hope that Tottenham fail and we succeed.
Who would you say would be the standout players for Arsenal this season? You and Josh.
Well, I'll let you go firstly. Pick three. Let's pick three players then. So three players.
Three players: Gabriel, Smith Rowe, and Thomas Partey. I think have been the three standouts for me. Saka's been on the periphery. If I'll be honest, and we know how good he is, but but they would be my three at this moment in time.
To be fair, one who's heavily surprised me, and I think a lot of people noticed that just last weekend or the weekend before, it's Ramsdale.
Oh, without doubt, yeah.
He's been a revelation in goal, really. His distribution has surprised me even more than his shot stopping, because his passing's unreal. And then I think Smith Rowe, I completely agree with that. He's adding numbers to his game now, which he weren't really doing before. And then I think with Thomas Partey was, he has these expectations.
Yeah, so I agree with it. More expect, so if you like Ramsdale would probably go above him because you expect it from Partey, if you be honest.
Yeah.
So,
and I do agree with Gabriel. We look a massively better side with him in the team. But if I was to pick someone else, might go Tommy Asu. I think he's been, because right about that position's been,
come in there, slotted in really well, isn't he? Yeah. So we do look a lot better defensively. I mean, Ben White. I think Ben White, by the way, last couple of games is really impressive.
Yeah, just them driving runs every now and then through the whole team.
Really impressed me. So, maybe like going to take him a little bit of a time to settle down, but I've been impressed with him, very much so.
Tavares as well. He's been since he's come in. He's got a job now.
Been sensational, isn't he? So.
Okay.
We're going to win the league, aren't we? We're going to win the league.
Maybe. Josh, next question.
I'll have a look, actually. We had a few questions come in.
Actually, before we carry on, Lee, talks about your football with, is it Aylesbury United? I've seen you been playing.
Oh, no, Waltham Abbey. I played against Aylesbury United a few times, but Waltham Abbey, I play for Waltham Abbey Vets on at the weekend. We're a decent side, got some decent players. I think most of the, few of the guys that playing it have obviously played for Abbey back in the day. They let us play on the stadium for our home games. It's like a bowling green. It's the best. When I played there, it certainly weren't like that. But it's like, you go over and what I've got to say, the chairman John treats the vets if it was like the first team. So you go over there, the sprinklers come on before the game and everything like that. So the pitch is all nice and soft. He really does look after us, and he's treated like really well over there. We've got all you get all the kit given to you, which is what the first team wear and everything like that.
Yeah,
it's really lovely, and the standard's really good. We won the league a couple of years ago, and we've come runners up the last couple. But we lost on our last outing. We lost. We was 2-2 a minute ago, and ended up losing, but 3-2, but 4-2 in the end. But we've got some good players in there, and there's some good players that are playing it in other teams as well. So there's about 4 or 5 teams that are really, really, really good. So I enjoy it. I'm not. I'm probably one of the oldest in it now. I can't do the full games, unfortunately. But I contribute. That's the main thing.
What's your position? Favourite one, or do you just get played? Where sort of you fit in? Or?
Midfield is where I play. So I love the free role, but I don't seem to get that as much as I used to. Do you know what I mean? So, anywhere in the midfield. I've because I'm of my age and all that. Sometimes I can play out wide as well. So and just sort of tuck in a little bit, So. I haven't got the legs to go box to box like I used to, but I still enjoy. I enjoy it. That's the main thing. I enjoy it, and I'm still got that competitive edge, and that's what you got to have. As long as I've got that, I'm all right.
That's what you need. Gents, got any questions?
I did have one. Do you think you need any more signings? Because I think you spent like 130 million transfer window. Do you feel like you still need someone to come into that Arsenal squad?
Yeah, sort of ties into the question we got as well here. Basically, carrying on from gents. What
I thought he was going to ask if the vets need any signings. We certainly do. They need a couple of there you go. I think Arsenal do need a couple of signings. I think we need another midfield player to go alongside Partey. Someone there that can do that. I think that.
Not Xhaka?
Listen, Xhaka's a good player, but but I think if you're going to go and challenge for top 4 and try and win the leagues, then Xhaka's a backup to what you've to the better players. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
not someone you can rely on. That's nothing against him by any stretch of imagination. But someone that's I think can get across, do what Xhaka's doing to a certain degree, but can get across the pitch a lot quicker and something like that. And I feel we need a big, strong target man.
I think we are looking at a strike. I think
we are looking at
down, I'm pretty sure.
Obviously the Real. I'll tell you what. I think it's Jolovic, is it, or something? Jolovic.
Oh, Jovic, yeah.
He was at he was at Frankfurt, I think it was.
Yeah. He was good at Frankfurt, but since he's gone to Real Madrid,
sometimes it just doesn't work out. But when he was at, I don't know if you remember the game, he absolutely ripped Chelsea apart.
Yeah, Chelsea.
In a game, and that's when I sort of took notice of him. And I thought, oh, he's a good player, and he had everything that I thought that Arsenal need. It's not quite worked out for him at Real Madrid, for whatever reason. But that doesn't mean to say that it's not going to work out for him if he comes to Arsenal. So I think he was 50 odd million. I think they want 25 for him. That's the sort of striker that we need. Someone that can go one way, but also can hold the ball up and all that. Like, you know,
we're looking at Calvert-Lewin as well. Or?
Calvert-Lewin would be the perfect for me, but you're looking at 70, 80 million for that.
Yeah, I think Mikel's trying to bring in a lot of English players, though, isn't he? You know,
and Calvert-Lewin might decide that he like that situation of young England players and go down that route and want to come to Arsenal, but I think with £25 million for a striker, and I think what they're talking about is a loan deal first of all, a bit like what we've done with Odegaard. Let's have a look at it and see if it'll work. So I think that would be a sensible thing to do. And if he can get to that form that he was at Frankfurt, then we've got a player on our hands. So, but again, it's a little bit of a gamble. If you're going to go for Calvert-Lewin, you actually like. I think are paying for probably like what you know you're going to get, you know. So do you take that gamble or not? So it's an interesting one. But someone of that ilk we definitely need, 100%.
And Katie has looked good as well in recent weeks, to be fair to him, when he's played in the cup competitions and stuff, you know, he's shone really.
Yeah, but he's not going to...
With Nketiah, I can't see him, you know, being an Arsenal striker in the future. Like, you know, when he went to Leeds, there's probably a reason he didn't get game time at Leeds. Bielsa maybe didn't see something in him.
Yeah, I just think, like, you know, he's one of those players that I think that what Arsenal need is not what he... We don't need someone off the shoulder. We need someone that's going to bring us in, bring the midfield players into the game. You know, big and strong, but can be powerful going one way and all that as well. Like, you know, we haven't really got that. We've got Aubameyang that does probably similar to what Eddie does, and Lacazette is the one that does that. But we want Lacazette, someone that can power on behind and as well. So it'd be interesting to see what they do in January. Listen, Arsenal got to make a couple of signings in January, because obviously with the African nations as well, we're going to lose Partey, we're going to lose Aubameyang, we're losing El Neni. So we're losing 3 players that we need to replace. So it'd be interesting to see what we do.
Yeah, I thought I'd ask you, we've always had a debate, right, about the Congo. What's your honest opinion?
Not the finished article by a long chalk. I think, you know, he looks good. Looks like he's one of those players I look at and think, you know, if he develops, he's going to be a fantastic player.
Yeah.
At the moment, he's one of those players that I think would come in 3 or 4 games and then drop out a bit, like, you know.
Yeah.
Probably going to have to use him a little bit more than what we probably plan to. But I think he's going to be a very, very good player. I'm impressed with him, but he's nowhere near the article that you want at this stage. But listen, he's 21 years of age, just come over, you know, fair play to him.
Yeah, I don't mind seeing players like Lokonga make mistakes. I'd rather see players like Lokonga make mistakes who are young and they can learn from them. And then you got like your old players that we've had in the past, like Mustafis and stuff, and even Xhaka, making mistakes, and they're like experienced pros, international level and stuff.
Yeah, I agree with you. And look, he made a mistake at Crystal Palace. If you can, I don't think it was a mistake, but you know, he got caught. He ain't got caught since, has he? Like, do you know what I mean? And has made that mistake. His 2 comeback games after that have been fantastic. I thought that was his best game on Saturday, because he lasted.
I think that pitch really suits him as well. It's, you know, a nice open big pitch.
Yeah, and he I say he's gonna. I don't think he's going to boss midfield, say like Partey at the moment. But what he is, he's the number 2. You know what I mean? That's going to contribute and help out, like, you know. So.
Okay, and Josh, next question.
What do you think about Pepe as well? Because with Pepe, it's a really weird one. You know, he had a really good end to last season, and he's not followed it on in any sort of way this season. He's like, a lot of fans are giving up on him, and I can see why.
Well, yeah, I'm disappointed, if I'll be honest in him, really. You know, I always wanted Zaha because he was just a little bit more psycho, if I'll be honest. But you know what I see about him, I see a player with so much talent, so much, and just doesn't quite fulfil it. You know, he's got ability, but you know, he's a frustrating player, if I'll be honest. And I just don't think Mikel really rates. He's not Mikel Arteta's man, by the way. So you know, where probably Odegaard is or whatever, but Odegaard's, you know, on a process of only like been at the club for 8 months or whatever. He's been here a few years now, and I expected him to kick on by now, and it's just not happened. Whether it's going to happen or not, I'm not a betting man, but I wouldn't hold your breath on it, if I'll be honest. I think he's just one of those. He's an enigma. And do you know what? I'm fed up with those sort of players at Arsenal. That, you know, you don't know what you're going to get from one week to another. I want consistency and you know, a player that's going to produce week in, week out. Not you
only really got to look at Saka's game, you know, because Saka he does it a lot more consistently than Pepe does.
And there you go. And he's a lot younger, like, you know what I mean? I don't think, as I said earlier on, Saka hasn't been at great form, but then he plays like he does for against Leicester. And he tired towards the end, but you can just see that he's on a different level. You know what I mean? Like, you know what you're going to get from him. And you just don't know what you're going to get from Pepe. I will say this about Pepe. He's probably one of the best finishers in the club. You know, if he gets a chance, he takes it. You know what I mean? But he just doesn't do enough for me, and that's the truth. That is the truth.
Okay, Josh, next question.
Gents, you haven't asked a question for a while. You got any?
So I heard you started a new YouTube channel. Like, tell me about it. I guess like it's been happening.
Yeah, as I said, like, you know, Rory helped me. Was the one that sort of got me into that. He sort of, I'd done a show with him, and he said, look, you know, you should do it, and. So, and I was always worried about the technical stuff of one of these guys, you know what I mean? Like, I ain't very good at all that sort of stuff. And he said, don't worry about it. People who wish we were helping all that. Yeah. So we started it up. I needed someone to help me. Like, so Dan come on board with me. And we were just starting doing it a couple of times. And then doing the watch-alongs, you know, for the Euros. And Dave, who works for AFTV, is like a cameraman now. He said, well, I'll help out. I've got a studio and things like that. And so he jumped on board and he does all fun. I didn't even know what thumbnail was until he come along and like thumbnail and all things like that. And he does that every time. He does all the, you know, he's behind the scenes and he helps out the camera stuff and everything. And so that's how it's gone from there. Like, you know, to get 22,000 subscribers within 3 months is unbelievable. Like, you know, that's because of the privilege that I have, and we're starting to build it from there, and you know, and it's not easy, guys, is it? As you well probably know, it's hard work, and you got to do what you got.
I am a subscriber. I subscribe right.
Thanks very much. Thanks very much. So, and we do you know what? I enjoyed doing it. I enjoyed, you know, doing it at all the different shows that we've done. You know, like we've finished the first season of a night in with a judge where basically, like, you know what I mean, I'm chatting up the girls and you know what I mean, you know, and getting paid for it. What a job, you know what I mean? So we enjoyed that, and we've got other things in the pipeline that we can do, and with Dave's technical ability and all that, it gives us a chance to branch out on different things and all that. So I'm really enjoying it, like, you know, and thanks for subscribing. I appreciate that, like, you know?
What do you love most about your YouTube channel, would you say?
What, my one?
Yeah, what do you love most about it?
Yeah, I'll tell you what I like about it. I can put in what I want to put in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have the influence what goes in and what don't go. Do you know what I mean? So, and I think that's important, you know.
With AFTV, you're sort of like dictated, aren't you? Like, Robbie's sort of the driving force, and in a way, like, you've got to be like that as a leader of a channel. You know, it's your channel, fair enough. But like, with your own channel, like you said, you can. Yeah.
So, you know, if it's going down the road, it's going down the path that I choose. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, you know, ultimately, you know, I think with AFTV and Robbie, like, I think if you ever spoke to Robbie, would he have ever thought it had got as big as what it had? Yeah. No, and sometimes that's by doing what I'm doing now. You know, I mean, sometimes it's difficult, and you got to make decisions that are not always right. And you know, I think they've made mistakes, and because, you know, it's human nature.
Yeah.
So from my point of view, I can look at a few things that Robbie's done wrong. And
Yeah.
think, well, I'm not going to make that mistake. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not going to do this and do that. So I feel that I can go down a path what I like. One of the things that don't stand well with me is you know, and I know you're not going to have it. I want most Arsenal fans to like what I do. You know what I mean?
No, I do get you. Yeah.
That's a big thing, man. You ain't going to get that all the time. And with AFTV, it's just gone off the scale. You know what I mean? And if I could get half as good as half as big as them, then I'll be, you know, loving it.
You'll be laughing, won't you?
Yeah, I'll be laughing, like, you know what I mean. So I might even get an ear transplant and be out of falling, like, do you know what I mean? So that's probably the greatest thing is that whatever I want to do, I can do, and the greatest thing is we have little meetings and we get little ideas together, and then when it comes off, we've done the one with the Highbury thing the other day, and it got great reviews and things like that.
Yeah.
And you sort of get a sense of like achievement. Wow, that was good.
Satisfaction, I mean, yeah.
We pieced that together, and everybody likes it. So that satisfaction you get from it is definitely fantastic. Yeah.
It is with YouTube, isn't it? Though you can make 5, 6, 7 videos, and they're all similar views, and it only takes that one, you know, to just people really enjoy. Goes viral, or you know, people really enjoy it, and then there you go. You've sort of got a baseline.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and it's funny. I think like the one against Man City is like the biggest view one that we've got, which is about 90,000 views. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and you think to yourself, wow, considering that you know you're getting like 500,000 people watching you on AFTV, but they've still got like 90,000 want to come over to your channel, which is fantastic. And you know, like the thing that I don't know if you've seen it, the thing that I've done with Abby, which is the Spurs. Abby's the Spurs girl, Spurs fan. Because it's Arsenal and Spurs, you know, that's the biggest video on the other sort of things that we do. And yeah, like, you know, but we're averaging about 10, 12,000 views a go, but. You got to start somewhere, you know what I mean? You ain't going to hit like 100. Like, I'd love to hit 100,000s, but you know, you've got to build it up, and you've got to put out content out there that people like, and it's not easy. It's 100%. It's not easy, you know. And one of the greatest things about it, and that's why I say I try and do it for other people, is that people were willing to come and help you out, come down and give up their time. And I think that's one of the fantastic things about YouTube, and there's lots of people that are willing to help out each other for them to get on, and I quite like that. I quite like that.
Yeah. Right, Josh, is that it?
Yeah, I was just going to talk a little bit about, you know, the watch-alongs. I mean, I love the watch-alongs, and you sort of, you know, like you said, you sort of, you know, found your feet on the watch-alongs. You know, that's how you sort of got going. And some of the memes are like, you know, the hammy and there's the one where you sat in the corner and you've got your phone like this and you're going like that. It's brilliant. I'll never ever tell him who it was. It was one of my Spurs mates was texting me at that moment of time, but you know, it's just banter, like, you know what I mean? I'm getting fucking, like, you know what I mean? Like, but he doesn't know actually which one it is, so I'm never ever going to reveal that. Yeah, like, and then they put up these memes of it all. And like, listen, that's been fantastic for me. Like those guys that do the memes and that, the jokes guys and all that, they message me, is it all right to put this one on? They're a great guy. Yeah, do what you want, like, do you know what I mean? And I think realistically that enhanced everything else, you know what I mean? Like, you know, like the one that I've earned the most money out of, like, because I do the cameos and everything now, is, you know what I mean, he's done it again. So people go like, can I have a birthday message? He's done it again, happy birthday, or whatever, like, you know what I mean? And you know, listen, that's been fantastic for me, so I'm not going to knock it. And the greatest thing about it is that I done one, I don't know what the memes was, I can't remember which one it was now, and it come out and it went mad. And I said, right, I've got on my mobile phone and I put on it like, remember the camera's watching. Don't, you know what I mean? I don't want that again, like, you know, saying that, and then there's a meme out again. Like, it's just natural stuff. You're just watching the game. You forget the camera's there. And that's what makes it great. Now, I know a few of my mates and everything like that, they watch the games now and they put their computer next door and watch the watch along, or if something. And even when I'm at home and I'm not watching, I might be watching
Chelsea or whatever, and if someone scores, you think, oh, I'll whack that on, see the reaction. It's great viewing, you know what I mean? Like it's just changed. It's another thing that's just changed the way of watching football, and that's a great thing, like, you know what I mean? So I enjoy it. As I say now, you know, part of what I have to do is I have to do a few watch-alongs on away games. So I can't go to as many away games as I like, because I've got to do a few watch-alongs. So part of the deal. But I enjoy going to the watch-alongs just as much as a game. You know what I mean? Like, and getting involved with that. So I think I get the best of both worlds. I go to games and do a few little watch-alongs along the way as well. So if you'd have said to me a year ago or a year and a half ago about watch-alongs, I'd have said, not for me. But you know, it's changed football now, and everybody does them now, don't they? Like, you know, so.
I think one of the
Euros, by the way, was fantastic doing it for the Euros. When sometimes you can, it's not your.
That was Don Robbie channel. He was.
It was on the Don Robbie channel, and there are times when it's not your team, so you're not really that. Into it as much as the Arsenal, so you can just sit and relax, and just your personality comes out a little bit better and more, and it's just it's been a massive boost for me, and you know, and it took me to a different level, if I'll be honest, you know what I mean? And I'll be honest, like the popularity of it all is, you know, wherever I go, I get recognised and people want photos, and it's just gone absolutely crazy, you know, and a lot of that is down to the watch-alongs.
Dan, you had a question, didn't you, about getting recognised, you know?
Oh, yeah. So do you get recognised where you go then?
Everywhere. Unbelievable. Like, you know, wherever I go, you know what I mean? Like restaurants, I was out, went out with a family Sunday, and the waiter comes up and says, oh, Lee, I can't believe it's you, you know what I mean? And wherever I go, you know, people want photos and all that, like, and the funny thing about it is, you know, it might have nothing to do with football. You can go somewhere like cricket or something like that, and people want to have photos and things like that. It's just, you know, gone mad, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you can be shopping, and, you know, I was on the tube, standing at the tube station the other day, and guy comes up to say, "Oh, can I have a photo?" And then I said, "Yeah, no problems." And then there's a queue. Do you know what I mean? About 4 or 5. All right, if I have a photo, like, and you've got people looking around thinking like, "Oh, is it? You know, who is this guy?" Like, do you know?
I know.
The greatest one, we went into a restaurant with a family about a couple of months ago, like, and some of my partner's family don't, you know, what really goes on and whatever, like, so we sit down in a restaurant, and a little boy come over and said, Lee, is it all right if I have a photo and all that, like, do you know what I mean? And so I had a photo, and you know, like, they were going, "Oh, that's great," isn't it, like, you know? So we went to the caravan site. There's loads of us go to a caravan like every year, just like about 40 of us go, and when I walked in, the place just went mad. Oh, there's Lee, look, can we have a photo? Like, I couldn't, you know, like, it's just gone wild. It's gone really, you know, beyond that, you know. A little story is that we went to Manchester, me and Kevin, like, and we said, right, come on, we'll walk around now. Manchester, wherever game, see who gets recognised the most, you know what I mean? So, like, he won, but it was close. It was close, you know what I mean? I'll take that, you know what I mean? So, so it's, you know, it is, you know, it's unbelievable. Quickly before I go, because I've got to go in a second anyway, but like, I'm sitting here on the telly, watching telly the other day, and I looked at my Instagram, and Ramesh, you know,
the comedian.
I've looked at it, and he's liked one of my stories. I said, one of my stories. And Michelle went, "Oh, well, he must be following you then, like, you know what I mean, to like one of your stories." So I've gone into the bloody hell, he's following me. He's been following me for a while. So I messaged him back, like, I said, "Oh, like, thanks for the follow and everything like that." And he's gone, "Oh, big fan of yours, Lee, like, do you know what I mean, like, blah blah." And we ended
up, Arsenal fan, isn't he?
Yeah, massive Arsenal fan. And what's the League of His Own? He was on the League of His Own.
And Percy was on it, weren't he? Next to him, and he was.
I don't know which way it was. A few weeks ago, he's hosting it now, and he, like, so he was hosting it, and as he's hosting it, I'm on a conversation with him going, you know, he says, what's going to happen with that team? You know, anyway, the conversation finished after about 10 minutes of, you know, like texting each other. And I just sat there, I thought, that's just so surreal, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know.
That can happen, like, do you know what I mean? So, yeah, so that's how things are now, like, do you know what I mean? So
basically up in the big time.
Well, I don't know about the big time, but it's nice when people like someone like that says, "Oh yeah, you know, I've gone to him. Oh, I'm a big fan of yours," which I think he's a really funny guy, and he's gone, "Oh, I'm a big fan of yours too." Like, do you know what I mean? So, you know, I must be doing something right, like, you know.
Yeah,
so
definitely. Anyway, guys, fans for watching this podcast, make sure you leave a like, subscribe. Say bye, guys. Cheers, come on, Lee.
Cheers, Lee. See you.
Cheers,
no worries. Cheers.